Hello and welcome to Hello Governor the podcast. As always, I am Abdullah, and with me today is okay. I gotta remember my introduction for this. Like it's been a while. So I've just gotten back from vacation. It's been a while, so excuse me if I'm like I'm excuse me if I'm out of it. But my guest today is the voice of Nemesis in Hades II and LotLot in Primos, and that's pretty much all the two things I know you from. So, so yeah. But my guest today is the wonderful Becca Q. Co.
Yes, Becca Q, that's me. Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, QCO. I exactly because with your name it says like Q. Co. So
Yeah,
okay, okay.
Q.co. Yeah.
So thank you for clarifying that because that confused me for the longest time. I looked at because you know when you look at someone's name in the credits and you're just like, okay, but how is that pronounced? Like what are
Yes.
they doing?
It's a very rare, I find, last name, just C.O. I have only met like one or two other people who are named whose last name is Co, but it's with a K. So yeah, it trips people up sometimes, but Q is part of my middle name. So it's just Becca Q Co. But yeah, it's funny because people look at it and go, wait. And I'm like, it's what you think it is, I think. But yeah, that's what it is.
So the dot is silent. Okay.
The dot is silent. Exactly.
Okay, so again, it's just one of those things where that's how my brain works. Whenever I see someone's name, it's just like, how do you say that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
completely. Yes.
So the first question is the obvious one, but let's get it out the way first. How did you get started, and what made you want to get into voiceover?
Well, it's been a long journey to get here, but I have always loved voice acting and grew up watching lots of cartoons, and I loved Pixar and I loved Pokemon. And I grew up singing. Singing was my first entry point into the arts. And I went to school for musical theater and then just straight acting in high school. And then I went to New York and I studied theater and I got into all sorts of different um sort of like worlds of it. Like we got the traditional classical stuff with like Meisner and that sort of thing, and then I did some experimental theater at the experimental theater wing. And when I also did this really amazing program in Florence, Italy called Commedia dell'arte, which is like Italian mask work, and it's like very hugely expressive with like your whole body and like a really big loud voice. And then I did a little mini like on-screen workshop, and there was but one class for voiceover. It was actually for commercial voice acting, and it was taught by Andy Roth, who's great. We love him. And he gave all the students like this really fun little toolbox of tricks to use for commercials, which I think kind of apply to all sorts of other things. But that was kind of my first like realization that oh yeah, I people do this. Um and I want to do that. So fast forward like a couple years, I was working with an agency for some commercial stuff, and they had a voiceover department. And a friend of mine was also with that team, and she was like, "Do you want to go meet the voiceover team?" I said, "Yes, let's do it." So I walked over, met all the agents, and then I just started auditioning. And the very first voiceover project that I booked was a commercial for Sonic that was like a collab with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it was this really cute commercial with like these two little animated turtles in the car, just like grooving to music. And that was the first thing that I did. And from that point forward, I was like, okay, I would like to please do this forever. So that's my yeah, I guess that's how I made my way into the voiceover world.
So it was something that you stumbled across. It wasn't something you pursued. Is that correct?
Um, I stumbled across it, yes, and then and then I pursued it, I guess we could say. But it felt like the perfect fit for me because I love learning different languages and different dialects, and I love character work. Like everything that I did in theater was mostly characters that aren't very close to me. So I had this in a sense when you're doing like on camera and like theater work, you are also using your voice. So I feel that like all of that performance training and experience just kind of like lent itself perfectly for me to dive into the voiceover world. And there are of course a lot of differences too, but I think yeah, I was just like, oh, this is very right. It was like I remembered little me wanting to do this and like knowing every single word to like Finding Nemo. you know. So yeah, I it's like I stumbled across it, but I had known like little me and like past lives me had known that this was something I was gonna do.
So, subconsciously it was something you always wanted to pursue, but you didn't have that realization until later on in life, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like cuz when I started working in voiceover, it just felt so right and so natural. Um So, yeah, it was kind of a subconscious thing. And then once it was like right in front of my face, it was like, okay, we did it. We found it. and it found us. So that's good.
That's pretty cool. Like, that's a heartwarming story and we need more of those nowadays.
We do. Yeah, we do. We do.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so you got into voiceover, and obviously, you booked one of like God, it's tough for me to really talk about Nemesis because like she's such a multifaceted character, and honestly, I just
Yeah.
like listen, I'm fighting the urge right now to like dive in deep into what makes her so great because like
Mm-hmm.
this performance like I mean, because I haven't played the game fully, but I've seen
Oh,
clips of
mhm.
it. But like because I don't have the time. You once look, man. Once you hit 35, it's just like, look, man. I don't have time for for video games and stuff like
yes,
that. But yeah,
yeah, and it does require time. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But I mean, your performance as Nemesis, I think has been stuck with me for since I heard it like a year ago because I remember when they did early access and I
Yeah.
started like searching for clips online and listening to Nemesis and just like how oh man like I just love Nemesis. Nemesis is just like Nemesis is best girl. Let's just get that out the way. Nemesis is best girl.
That makes me so happy. Yeah, I love Nemesis too. What can I say? I mean, she really is. So I love that you said multifaceted. 'Cause I do think she has like so many layers of things going on, and I really love the way that she expresses herself. Because I think it's so different from how I express myself. Um, so she kind of yeah, I feel like I learned a lot from her in the process of recording her dialogue because um she just like knows, like she trusts her gut and she has this like self ownership that is so powerful. Um and I also think she's really funny. Which is fun. I mean, a lot of the characters in Hades are really smart and witty and funny and intense, and I love that about them. I also think it's fun that the world of Greek gods and Greek mythology is so dramatic. Like it can be so intense and dramatic. And I love that Supergiant built this world where a lot of the gods they are aware of that. Like they make fun of themselves and they get into quabbles and they love each other and they hate each other. There's such fun that's had in this world. And Nemesis is amazing because yeah, she's got like all these huge intense centuries long feelings that are just this rage and this sense of justice and bringing about justice in the way that she wants to and she sees fit, but she also really keeps a lid on all of it. um and she never raises her voice. She doesn't scream or cheer or yell, but it like which is again the opposite of me. I really wear my whole heart on my sleeve, and I'm just a very emotional person, and I'm always screaming, laughing, and crying. So it was a little bit of a challenge to to kind of be in that world, but once I got in, it felt very right, and I kind of unlocked this new persona. So I'm really, yeah, I'm grateful for Nemesis.
I think my favorite thing about her is that, every time you talk to her, she just roasts you for no reason. It's just like, yes.
Yeah, yeah, she really does do that. Yeah, and it's funny too because it's she knows how bad she's getting you, and she's like, "Yeah, let me just real quick. I'm just gonna drop this on you and have a nice day." um, but yeah, it's great. I think the writing again, it's so good. It's just a treasure trove. Um, and I think it's really cool to kind of, have a couple of years to be with a character. 'Cause outside of voice acting, when I'm doing a play or a short or working in TV or doing a feature, all of that is somewhat contained. And it's like, okay, we're living in this character. We have X amount of shoot days or performances, and then we're done. But it's really, really different and interesting to be like, okay, we started recording in 2022, I want to say. And then I had my last session for Nemesis June of 2025. So she's kind of just been with me. um I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, yeah, it's been fun. It's been really cool to kind of ride the wave of of life the past few years um with Nemesis, if that makes sense.
So speaking of Nemesis and Hades, like, how did you get involved in that? Like, was that a general audition?
I got an audition from casting, and this is the Help Network. They're incredible. They work on all sorts of amazing projects. And when I got the audition, I read the description of the character was very brief. It was um something like cold, direct messenger or guardian or warrior or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not me. I don't know why they sent me this one, but okay, I'm gonna give it a go. And it had a code name, obviously, so I had no idea what I was auditioning for. And it was just a few lines, and I was like, okay, well, I got this. I'm just gonna go. And I had her voice just kind of came to me immediately, and I read for it, and then they cast me. And then the night before my first recording session, I got an email with the Excel sheet with all of well, not all of, but a lot of the dialogue of Nemesis. And then there were other little character tabs. And, I saw I saw Hades, I saw Zagreus, and I was like, oh my God, this is Hades. This is Hades. Like they're making a second one. What? And I was losing my mind because the first game obviously is incredible. It is my partner's number one favorite game. It's my sister's favorite game. And I was like, I spent, you know, all of lockdown, like my partner would be playing Hades and we'd be blasting the music and I would just be thrashing around the living room to it because it's so good. And I was very shook to be cast in it. And honestly, I don't think it's sunk in for a little while. But it's been like such an epic, a magical, super fun journey. And I'm really, really glad that it happened. I'm so grateful. Um, yeah, it's still, I mean, it still trips me out to see like people sending me, a recording of them playing the game, and then it's and I'm Nemesis. Like that's still, that still is kind of blowing my mind. But I'm getting a little more used to it.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, because again, Hades, like you said, is one of like it's a game that came out of nowhere, and I think a lot of people slept on it because again, lockdown. But then as the year went on, as 2020 went on, and as everyone was suffering together, everyone realized, hey, Hades is pretty good, and if you can endure the trial and error of those
Mm-hmm.
games, then it's good.
Yep.
But if it's not a game that's for people who don't have a lot of patience, because oh boy, you need a lot of
Right.
patience for Hades.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's so intense. Yeah, patience is required. Or you could do it impatiently, but it's gonna take some time.
I mean,
Like
you
all
can't.
good things.
I mean, yeah, you can, but like, it's not gonna be
You'll be
fun.
miserable. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Hades is like one of like the best games that came out. Period. Like, I think
Yeah.
it changed the way I look at video game writing and storytelling and everything,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like, it's it again. I'm trying so hard not to go into too much detail, because this podcast will be like 8 hours long if I go into too much detail about how much I love Hades. But I think like it's such a phenomenal game, and again, like I implore everyone to, like, at least if you even if you can't play it, like, at least look up the cutscenes on YouTube to just really appreciate the
Yeah.
phenomenal writing and the acting and everything about it. Is just like it's a once in a lifetime time event, I think.
Yeah.
So when they announced like Hades 2 was coming, you don't understand like how excited I was, because it's like, what? They're making another one?
For real, I actually have chills right now. I have like goosebumps on my arms just like thinking about it. Cause yeah, it is true. Like every single part of the world of Hades is so fucking good. Like just the music is incredible. Like you said, the writing, the acting, the game itself, the art. It's every single piece of it is like so incredible. And it's really like it just it just makes you feel alive. Just makes you feel so good. So yeah, I've it's truly it boggles the mind. I mean, the they won so many well-deserved awards, and I think yeah, they changed. I think Supergiant like changed the the world of video games. I mean, really, it's really special, and to like, yeah, to be a part of it is really cool. Really nice and cool.
And going back to Nemesis, what
Hmm.
aspects of her character do you personally relate to?
Ooh, um, I relate to the fact that she has a really big heart, and sometimes when it comes to certain feelings she has a little hard time expressing them. Um, I also think, I also like that she likes to just roast people because with my with my closest friends and chosen fam, like that feels like a really beautiful thing to just be able to like roast each other and drag each other for things that we do that are weird or silly or kooky. This is such an interesting question. Yeah, I haven't really thought about this, which is odd. You would think that I would have thought about this. Um, I think she's really stubborn and headstrong, and I am that too. Yeah. I'll let you know if I think of more, but those are the ones that come to mind first.
And what are some of your favorite Nemesis lines?
uh, I really like the lines about, how hard it is to take her armor off. It's just so hard. So, you gotta, it's good to take a bath because once it's off, it's off. I also like when she says, I like when she says anything to Malinui that is dragging her, which is a lot of the lines. But just talking about like when she drags her for not being able to beat Kronos, uh, when she talks about her scrawny little ass being knocked back here already. Yeah, oh my God, when she talks about her mother. That's where things get a little sticky when she talks about, Nyx and her siblings who she's not that close to. That is hilarious to me and also feels like really relatable for a lot of people in my life.
Yeah, man. Look, man. I truly believe that that they could do an entire like spin-off based on the Knicks family, that lineage,
Oh my
because there's
God,
just
totally.
so much stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, that's for sure.
No, but I love that because like I love how, and this is me sounding like a pretentious fart, but I like that her role in the game is, she's an NPC and she's meant to help you, but
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that her being antagonistic is kind of like a deconstruction of the helpful NPC trope. I kind of
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's funny to
Mm-hmm.
me. Like every line you talk to her, she's just like dragging you down for no reason. It's just like why?
Yeah, yeah. When we were recording the dialogue for I don't know if you've gotten this far in the game, but you can kind of compete with her to see how many, how many people you can kill faster. And she had some lines that were like if if wait, oh, hold on. If you lost, she'd be like, "Okay, you can hit me." And if you won, she'd be like, "Well, I should get to hit you because that's only fair." And it's just so funny because she's very very, like I said, headstrong, but she's obsessed with like the balance and like making things right or justified, the god of retribution incarnate. But her way of doing it is just hilarious to me. And she loves, yeah, she loves to drag people. It's great. It's fun.
Yeah, man. It's I kind of feel bad asking you like what's your favorite line because honestly, all of them are great. Like it's tough.
Well, they're all great. I feel that way. I mean, that's why I just listed like 10. But yeah, I do think just anytime there are some lines too that I've heard in the game where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't remember saying that. That's crazy." And then somewhere I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be with me like forever." Um yeah, she's got a lot of That's the thing is also like she's like a woman of fewer words, which again is also not me. Cuz I could just probably talk forever. But I like that she's so selective and like direct with her words. Like she uses her words like little darts.
Yeah, it's great. Like honestly, like again, I can sit here all day and talk about how great Nemesis is, but again, we'd be here for 8 hours, and I know that you don't have that much time.
We can do multiple parts. This is one of 10.
Hey, did you see this one podcast? He interviewed like this one lady for like 8 episodes or so. It's crazy.
Hey, I'm down if you want to. Let me know. But
Oh
definitely
man.
not in one sitting because
Um, I also wanted to ask, like, seeing as you've worked on, two big projects. I mean, I want to say Nemesis. I don't know why I want to say Nemesis,
Nemesis.
but
Nemesis.
yeah, Hades II and Primos, and they're both, different characters and different vocal ranges and personalities and all that stuff. How do you avoid vocal damage?
Ooh. A couple different ways. I really like to warm up my voice with um vocal warm-ups that I learned in like singing lessons over the years and in voice and speech classes. Just to make sure like I am really warmed up and ready to go when I get into the session. I also am more aware now of how to just be supported and be on my voice for these characters, which involves a little bit of like expanding the rib cage to keep your diaphragm like inflated is not the right word, but uh lightly stretched. I guess I'll say. I don't know what the scientific terms of it all are, but yeah, keeping your rib cage slightly expanded is one. I'm always standing for sessions. I know um for me it's like a very full body activity, so I when I want to express myself with my hands or my arms or whatever it is I do. Uh and drinking water, taking breaks when you need, but mostly it's like I didn't have any sessions that were longer than 2 hours at a time, so I never really felt tired from it. One, because I was just so like filled with adrenaline and joy to like be in the space. um and two, because uh I guess I'm just used to using my voice for extended periods of time. Yeah.
So it wasn't much of a. I mean, it was a challenge, but it wasn't like there was never that point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh my God, no, never. There like I truly, and I told this like to the entire Primos team, but there were like pretty much every time I left a session for doing LotLot or any other like additional voices for Primos, I would go into the parking lot and just jump up and down because I was like I just had all this energy from the session and I'd just be like, "Woo, that was so fun!" before I got into my car. Because it was, yeah, something about working on, when you get to work on characters that you love that are hilarious and like deep and can be like really loving and compassionate, it just like it is, and I find it super energizing. And I feel like I could do it forever, but I probably would get tired at some point because I have recorded audiobooks previously, and those sessions are sometimes like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And by the end of that day, I am exhausted, like vocally and emotionally and physically exhausted.
Oh yeah, audiobooks because I talk to a lot of voice actors and they say like, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'll do any stupid shit you ask of me, but audiobooks, man, that is where I draw the line."
I know a lot of voice actors who are like never, 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 because it is so very much talking. I haven't the ones that I've worked on have been really fun and interesting to me. So that's been special. But it is, yeah, it's super draining. And you have to keep your energy up while also performing several different characters, and it's often just like far as as far into the text as you can go at a time. And obviously, if you're the one narrator, you can take the breaks whenever you need to. But you're doing like 300, 400, 500 page books. It's a lot of talking.
Yeah, yeah, especially when I'm someone, because I'm someone who listens to a lot of audiobooks, and a lot of times they're like 6 hours, 7 hours. The current one I'm listening
hmm
to is 17 hours long, and it's just like,
Woo!
uh,
Yeah. And they spent way more time recording it than the 17 hours. Once it's like cut down. Yeah, it's wild. But on the yeah, like I was saying, for the Primos of it all and the Hades II of it all, it's just been really, really fun. And so yeah, don't get tired.
also like just listening to you talk and watching your mannerisms and all that stuff. I just find it really funny that they cast the lady who was high energy and smiley and a
Right?
good time haver as the goth character.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean for both of them, 'cause LotLot is occasionally deadpan. Sometimes she likes to you know, be jumping up and down and screaming and cheering for things that really, really excite her. But that was yeah, for LotLot, it was really fun because I did have a callback in studio, and we were kind of playing around with her personality and her just smack my microphone, her personality and her delivery of certain lines, and trying to kind of find exactly where that was. I had my for her as well, it was a similar thing to Nemesis, where I was like, I know exactly how she talks. I saw there was some early art of her in the description, and I was like, yes, this is her voice. um but yeah, it was funny because the first redirect I got during the callback was maybe a little less buoyant, like less outgoing. And I was like, oh, okay, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Just had to bring her down a little bit. But I'm so I'm so glad. It feels great because it's there are a lot of things that I feel I have in common with both of these characters. And then there are a lot of things about them that are so different from me. And I really love that because I feel like that kind of gets me even more aware of what I want to bring to the character. Um, because there's a little bit of distance, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it totally does make sense because, like, it's. I mean, yeah, yes, you're voicing a made up character, but at the end of the day, it's still a character. It's still like
Mm-hmm.
it has needs, it has wants, it has goals, it has a motivation. You're
Mm-hmm.
basically
Mm-hmm.
bringing life to obviously someone else's creation because someone else came
Right.
up with a character and writers, artists, and what have you. But
Mm-hmm.
you are you're a part of that character, and you have to make sure
Yeah.
that you may have to make sure that that character is real, it feels real. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Completely. Yeah. The character will only feel real if the things that you're, bringing to them are true and real, and like you said, need and want things. Um, yeah, completely. It's I think yeah, the most important or the biggest thing about building a character is just their heart. The heart of them, and then kind of just seeing what comes out of that. Um yeah. Yeah.
And for Primos, did you guys record together or was that separate?
That was separate. I really wish we could have recorded together. There were a couple of times when I would have a session right before or after another actor, and we'd get to say hey briefly, or um, like there was one time when one of the other actors just came and sat and watched my part of my session, which was fun because to just like look into the studio and be like, "Hey, what's up?" But no, it was solo. We so Eden Riegel, the director, she read all the other characters in the scenes with us, and she's incredible. So getting to play off of her was really fun. And the whole process for recording was really like quite collaborative, more collaborative than I would have expected. I mean, this was my first like major animated role I had done. I've done a couple of like indie projects um that you can find like on YouTube, and there's a short that I did that's like on HBO, but this was the first series regular in a like a major animated show that I've done. And yeah, I kind of didn't totally know what to expect, but the actual process of recording was so much fun, and there was always a little room to kind of like to play and explore what like the different beats were and how Lot might say it, or like what would be sub- unexpected for her, or like actually let's do the thing she always goes for. um and then I also had like this super fun treat of getting to voice lots of other random characters in the show. Like there's the very very first scene in the first episode, Tater's sitting on a bus next to this little boy with allergies, and that's me. And there's like this sweet old lady who actually she's a mean old lady who's a secretary at the place where Lita is applying for a job. All these other characters who have nothing to do with LotLot were really fun to record as well.
That's good to know that you worked with again Eden Riegel, who's just like she just she's one of those directors I think who can like take someone who's never done who um how do I say this without sounding mean? Because I know that with Disney they like to cast a lot of celebrities in these things.
Mm. Yeah.
So, as a director, you kind of have to go in there and be like, okay, you're casting someone who doesn't do a lot of voiceover stuff. But every
Hmm.
time, like I listen to something that Eden has directed, it's seamless because like she can
Yeah.
take like I truly believe like she can take like any like on camera actor and
Hmm.
bring out the best out of them. Bring the best performance out of them. She's that good when it comes to directing.
Completely. Yeah, she's incredible. She's so warm and inviting. I think she has like such a clear she comes in with a very clear vision, but she's also like really excited and willing to kind of like shape things with you. But if you just want like straight up direction, she will give that to you as well. And she's just so generous and such a delightful scene partner to have. Um, and it was, oh yeah, so lovely. Like everybody who worked on the show was so sweet and so easy and fun to work with. And I just I feel I miss it. It was so fun to work on. And I have like a little cardboard cutout of LotLot actually, because they had a little cast party, um, cast and crew party, and they made like big cutouts of my. It's like that big, bigger than that. Um, and it's sweet because some of the other castmates like signed it on the back like a yearbook. But it felt, yeah, it's so special, and LotLot's so great. Like she's so creative and spooky and silly, and like she really cares about Tater and her other cousins and her dolly. She's the best. I love her. She's also really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of one of those things where while I wasn't the biggest fan of the show, I I was kind of disappointed that it did get canceled without much fanfare or anything like that because I'm like, you know what? I
Yeah.
mean, I would have liked to at least have seen a season two or three, just to
Oh,
see,
you're
just
telling me, yeah.
just to see you guys like improve on improve because like there was potential and unfortunately with the state of animation being what it is nowadays, everything's just being
Yeah.
canceled left and right, and it's just a shame.
Yeah, it really is. I know there were a couple of things that don't get to go on. And yeah, I totally agree. I think, you know, it would have been really magical, obviously, to do a season two and a season three. Um, Even like a little Primos musical movie. Like I'm like that fantasy still kind of just exists in the back of my mind. Because everybody they're I mean, the songs in the show, they make me cry. They're just so good. And I think a musical would just be fantastic. But we'll see, you never know, but also, yeah, the state of things currently is um bleaker than it's been. For sure. But yeah, I mean, to get to be a part of that show and it's been really special, and there are a lot of really sweet like young people and adults who've reached out um to me about LotLot. Which is so lovely, and I think LotLot like made a good impression. She's a silly spooky one, and um yeah, I'm also very grateful for her. I think LotLot and Nemesis are both people who like know exactly who they are and what they want, and that's cool. Because sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? And what do I want? And what's happening? And who am I? All those questions.
Yeah, but I think that's just part of being an adult. I think that I mean, I'll just say it. Adulting sucks. I'll just say it. Like I think,
Period.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, adulting sucks, and I just like I'm at that point in my life where I'm just like, can I just go back to being a kid? Can I just go back to watching cartoons all day and not having to worry about stuff like money and finances
Oh,
and all this other
money. I
stuff?
hate money. Yeah, it's awful. Oof. Yeah, it's a wild world, and adulting is awful, like you said. I'm gonna echo that. It's tough out here. Yeah, I'm like, but I mean, this is why, again, like, I just consider myself super fucking lucky that I'm working as a voice actor and an actor, and I get to do the thing that I really, really, really love to do with people who really, really love what they do. Um, and it's been really interesting to sort of like move into this space where I like hear from people about projects. Because I've also gotten a few like really sweet messages about Nemesis, and that people really really are responding to her in the game, which makes me super happy. And I voiced Rika in Pokemon Masters EX, which is the game, and also have received like really lovely messages about that, which I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, oh yeah, people of course are playing and watching these things. Uh, yeah, it's been really really cool and like kind of wild to be experiencing this.
Yeah, because like I do love the fact that we're starting to see more people who aren't as again, I know I'm gonna sound mean when I say this, but like aren't as
Say it.
aren't as established get cast in these like big
Yeah,
projects because it helps like shine new light on new talent that would have otherwise been slept on if they
yeah,
had just gone if they had just played it safe.
totally, totally. I mean, I always think that's the move, like in every single medium of art, like with film and TV and just every like every job in the entertainment industry when it comes to like writers, directors, actors, producers, like everybody on the crew. Like it's important to give opportunities to, like you said, people who aren't as established or people who haven't had, you know, the same opportunities. Like all of that is really important. I mean, because that's, yeah, you end up like having really magical combinations of people. I think it's really cool to have like a project where there's like a full spectrum of people who have like worked a shit ton and are like absolutely legendary, and then people who have like worked quite a bit and are very good at their job, and then people like you said who are sort of like newer to the industry or have done, like are transitioning from film and TV to voiceover or music to voiceover or whatever it is, and like having um that spectrum I think is really cool because everybody can learn a little bit of something from everybody else, being in like the different positions that you're in. And like for me it's been really cool to be able to like fully apply myself. Oh my god, that sounds so fucking, I don't even know, but yeah, it's true. Like fully bring all of my entire personality, my like things about myself that I think are weird or things that make me like kooky or vulnerable or insecure, whatever, all those things, like all of that is present with me. I don't, when I'm voicing these characters, like I can still feel that, and that actually like I think that actually like fuels and enriches the characters. Like I'm not yeah, I think like I feel grateful that I can show up in these spaces and be like, I don't need to tone down or pull back things about myself that some people might think are like loud or like annoying or whatever it is. Like it's kind of cool to be able to like show up and go, okay, here is all of me, and this is actually what I was hired for, so that's cool. And then to get to work with like consummate professionals who are so like uh just so precise and so encouraging and inspiring, like that's just such a gift. And like working on Hades too, with Daren and Greg, like we've already said, the writing is just ridiculous. It's stupid, so good. And then Daren, who directed the voice sessions, was just like so I feel like he came to it from a place of like curiosity, where it was like, oh yeah, what could that sound like, or what could this beat feel like, what does this moment between Nemesis and Malinui, like what does it do for both of them, and like how does it change Nemesis. And there would be times when you record like an A and a B, and um and there were like a few times when Daren would be like, oh well, which one do you think, and I'd be like, me, I like number one. And it feels cool to just be, yeah, like working in these collaborative spaces and be like free to be whatever I am that day.
That's good to know because, like, a lot of times, whenever I talk to people who do video games, they usually say, like, okay, we go in there, we act, obviously, and
Mm-hmm.
usually, like, we give them different takes, but we don't really have much say when it comes to which take they're gonna
Mm.
use. So it's
Right,
it's
right,
kind of
right.
a crapshoot.
Totally.
But I'm kind of glad that the Hades team are like, you know what? This is a collaborative effort. Let's ask the actor what they think.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've worked on a few other video games where it was, where we're like, go, 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 get the like let's move it along, let's make it happen. Never like rushed, but it is like, mostly up to the director, and they're making their selects and stuff, and that all is still really great and fun for me. Um, but yeah, it is cool to be asked for my opinion on a take. I do think that's kind of fun because then I get to turn like a part of my brain on that is directing and be like, oh, well, which take do I like more for the like with all of the context and like knowing what's about to happen next or like knowing yeah, like what ignited this moment. Um it's all really cool and it's all like, it's like that hardcore like scene study stuff. I'm like, yeah, that take is great because then like millennially will know how I actually feel. Which might be positive feelings.
And that's another thing that you also have to take into consideration because you guys don't record together, so you
hmm
don't you don't know what like how how the other actors are gonna like what their performance is gonna be like until the game comes out. So it's just like
Yeah.
okay, I have to pretend that I'm talking to the person the other character and hope
hmm
to God that my performance matches.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean and Daren so similarly like in that Eden was reading with us and directing, Daren was reading all the dialogue with me and he's like his Malinois is so good. I'm like when I hear Malinois in the game, I'm like, oh that's like really similar to how Darren said it in the session. But I mean he voices like several many characters in both the games. And he's got that like essence down. So that's pretty fun. And like and, oh my God. And it's been so fun to like get to know uh some of the people on the Supergiant team and like get to know Judy and some of the other voice actors. Like they're all so phenomenal and so fun. I mean, we've had like a couple karaoke sessions where everybody just obviously goes really hard, and that is a dream come true because karaoke is like in my blood. So as a Filipino person, like that's important to me. And we love it.
I was just about to ask, like, did you have you gotten a chance to meet any of your fellow castmates? But obviously you have, and it's pretty
Some of
cool.
them. Yeah, I'm actually excited because I'll get to meet a few more this week because Supergiant is hosting a little celebratory Hades II thing up in the Bay Area. So that'll be fun. I'm excited to meet some of the other voice actors.
So you've met some. So you've met some of the castmates, and you're planning on meeting more because like you said, Supergiant is doing an event, and by the time this goes up, it probably would have happened, or maybe it would have happened, maybe it wouldn't have happened. It depends on how lazy I get when it comes to the editing and when I upload this. But maybe it happened, maybe it didn't happen. I don't know. But yeah, so
We'll see.
that's pretty cool. So and you also mentioned doing karaoke, like and that's that is a thing.
Ooh, yeah, that's really fun. Karaoke is like it's really fun to see like especially honestly when you like just meet people. Like you're like, okay, I met you 5 minutes ago, now we're doing karaoke. This is great. You just like bare your soul. And it's fun to see like what songs people choose because there's always like a solid mix of like every genre you can imagine. Um, and I live for it. I love a Cher or ABBA or Whitney, Britney situation. And we love like the Disney and the musical theater stuff and the rock stuff and the folk stuff. Good mix of everything, nice and juicy.
Yeah, I'm just like it's just I'm so sorry. Like you mentioned now that you mentioned that you doing karaoke with Judy, and now all I can think of is your characters going to karaoke.
Ah! Oh my God, how I wish. Yeah, oh my God, I would love that. I really wish that Nemesis and Malinui had like a sing off. I don't know if it makes any sense for their characters, but I feel like it does. And I do think that would be really magical. So I'm just gonna speak that into this podcast. Judy is like such an amazing singer. It's ridiculous. And obviously Ashley and Daren and Aaron, they're crazy. Um, it's a good time. But yeah, Nemesis Malinoi karaoke battle? Something to think about.
I mean, you can, but like, I don't know how I don't know if that would work for because 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 every time someone like pitches an idea, we're like, oh, we should do this thing, and then the companies are like, bitch, no, we're gonna send the
Usually,
lawyers after you.
yeah. Yeah, we could just it'll just be me and Judy karaokeing in real life, and that makes me happy too. So that's good. That's funny. It's fun to imagine.
Yeah, because I don't know if you're familiar with the Call of Duty franchise, but years
Oh, I
ago,
am.
yeah,
I'm in it.
oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I
No,
don't do my
no, don't
research.
worry. Oh my gosh, no, please. You don't. There's no research to be done for me, truly. But yeah, what were you gonna say about Call of Duty?
No, because I remember a few years ago, Steve Bloom, Nolan North, Fred Tatasciore, they got together and they did like a zombies Christmas album, and
Ha!
and it was a lot of fun. And then Activision was like, "We're gonna send the fucking lawyers after you because that's our IP." And the only
Right.
way you can
Wow.
find that album now is through bootlegs because Activision sucks balls. That's why.
Mm. That is hilarious. Um, that's so wild. Speaking of Call of Duty, actually, I I voiced a gun screen that they named Gwen, and it was inspired by, all the like the TikTokers and YouTubers that are making videos of themselves as NPCs, where they're kind of doing this video game, like, what do you call this? Like sway in place, and they say like ice cream, yum, like stuff like that, or like cowboy ride it, like really insane, weird little like one-liners. Have you heard of this or seen this at all?
I mean, I look. All I know about this stuff is like against my will. Like people will every time like I scroll through social media, I see this shit in my feed, and I don't know why. It's like, can you believe that people are doing this stuff? And I'm just like, why? What is happening? The world makes no sense to me.
Yeah, the world makes no sense to me either. But this was like a trend that had been going on for a little while. And in Call of Duty, they wanted to make a gun screen who was doing that, who they named Gwen. And there is a video of like a compilation of a bunch of my lines as Gwen, this gun screen. And it's really funny because one of the videos is literally called "This gun screen is annoying AF." And it's just like a 3-minute compilation of a bunch of the shit I'm saying. And it's so unhinged and disturbing. But I literally say like headshot squishy. And like it's just it's so wild. I'm shouting out like very violent, murderous things in a really like upbeat voice. It's goofy town, but I also like really love it. And I don't know if I know anybody who plays Call of Duty except for my one friend, and he's looking into finding this gun screen. But it is, another very fun character.
I think I remember that now that you're mentioning it because I remember watching like a live stream of someone playing Call of Duty and he had the talking gun, and it's like, look, Call of Duty has a talking gun now. Why?
Why? The question we'll never know the answer to. But I really that actually that session was very tiring because by the end, because I was basically like at a 10 the entire time because she's mostly just screaming. So by the end of that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, and it's like 4 o'clock. But it is that one was interesting. I'm not sure why in for this specific character I had this mic, but and I don't know the technical term for it, but it's like this it's like your headphones and then there's like two mics that come up and down like antenna. Um and that was fun for me cuz I could like move my head around as much as I wanted to and you wouldn't lose my voice, which obviously normally you have to perform everything to this right in front of you if the mic is on a what is this called? Mic stand. But I was just like like moving my head around and my body and my arms because I actually needed to do that to like be screaming for several hours as that character. Ooh. Yeah.
I gotta ask, did you ever throw up?
Did I ever throw up? You mean like during a session?
Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine you like just moving around and around and
Oh,
around
because
and
I'm
just like, did you?
literally, oh, like making myself dizzy. Ha, ha, ha. No, I haven't, thank God. But I don't know. I guess I'll keep you posted. I don't really throw up. Like, I vividly remember throwing up like once when I was a kid because I ate like an entire pack of those little Halloween, that like log of a cookie. And you like cut it and it's like was Halloween themed. There was like Frankenstein and a bat and a pumpkin. And I just like ate the whole thing really fast. And then I threw up. Sorry, this is so gross, but I threw up and it looked exactly like it did when I ate it. Like it was like that looks like a pumpkin and that looks like a Frankenstein head. Um, but anyways, no, I haven't made myself throw up in a session.
I am I am like trying so hard not to like I'm not gonna say it because this is just too gross. It'd be too gross. I'm sorry.
Oh
Sorry I
my God.
brought
I
it
feel like
up.
you might need to say though. Wait, do you really not want to say it or do you want to say it?
No, because I'm just like thinking about like I'm talking about like gross throw up stories because I remember one. I
We're
remember
here.
one.
Yeah,
I
tell
remember
me.
one that's like too gross to say on this podcast. So like
Oh,
I'll
is it?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll let you draw the line wherever you want, but
Yeah.
I'm down to hear it if you want to share. Because we're already there. So,
Okay. Content warning.
content warning.
If you're please do not if you're squeamish and if you're not like if you're please don't be eating anything while I'm talking and if you can just skip ahead a couple minutes because it's not that long of a story anyway. So years ago we went to Germany. My family and I went to Germany for summer vacation. 2007. I remember it was 2007 because it was late. We landed like it was late at night. We needed something to eat. There's Burger King next to the hotel. And you can see where
Mm-hmm.
this is going. I
Mm-hmm.
remember it was 2007 because the Burger King had the tie-in that had the whole Simpsons movie tie-in. So there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of Simpsons stuff back then. I remember that Burger
Huh.
King. So we ordered something, and I was like so hungry because I had not eating any. I had not eaten anything, and
Mm-hmm.
I ordered a Whopper, and it was like it was again. This is again content warning. If you're listening, please do not be eating anything while I'm talking
Put
about
the
this.
burrito down, Bill.
So anyway, because you know what it's like when you haven't eaten in a
Uh-huh.
while and
Yeah.
someone hands you the most disgusting food imaginable and you will like you'll chow down on that and I
Yeah, you're
chowed down.
hungry.
I went all out on that Whopper, and
Uh-huh.
it was like okay, and then I went home and I just felt nauseous. I
Ugh.
tried to sleep.
It's quick.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to sleep, but you know what it's like when at first you're trying to be like, oh, is it like gas? Do I have to like go to? Is it
Which
gas?
thing is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
is it gas? Am I gonna throw up? And I was really nauseous, and
Uh,
and then I went to the bathroom and I just like vomited all over it. It was uh, and I know it was the Whopper because there were bits in it. There were little bits in it. So
Evidence.
yeah.
Yeah. That's honestly not as gross as I thought it was gonna be. You really set me up to be like, this is gonna be horrible. It's still gross, but it could be grosser
I mean,
in the scheme of things.
it's gross because no sane person should ever be eating Burger King. That is just like
Uh,
no sane
man, I.
no sane person should be
Ooh.
eating Burger King. Okay.
Uh, as a kid, I really loved their they had these like cinnamon breakfast cinnamon roll stick things. Do you remember those? Do they still have those? I don't know. Haven't been there in a while. And I know you haven't been there in a while because of what you just said. Um, and I'm sorry that that happened. That sucks.
Okay, so now that we're done talking about like gross stories, let's like let's let's lighten the mood. But anyway, outside of voiceover and acting and all that other stuff, do you have any
Mhm.
personal hobbies?
Yeah, I've got a lot of hobbies. I love swimming. I'm learning how to surf. Still pretty bad, but it's so fun for me to just absolutely get tossed around in the ocean. Um, I love, well, like we said, karaoke, very important to me. I really love writing and making visual art, like collaging, painting, doodling. I also love thrifting. What else do I? So many things. I like watching TV. I like going to the movies. Um, yeah, that's a lot of them. I like watching. I love visiting New York because my partner and I lived in New York for 8 years before coming to LA, and I love seeing a Broadway show, a Broadway musical, off Broadway, off Broadway, you name it. I'm just like happy to be in a theater. Um, and I like eating good food. I love KBBQ. So fun. It's like an activity and a meal, a feast.
Oh man, I remember going to New York because my brother used to study there. He's back home
Mm.
now, but he used to study there, and I remember visiting him back in like 2023. And I looked at
Mm-hmm.
those I've seen Broadway. I looked at those ticket prices, and I'm just like, man, uh, uh,
Oh, they're way too expensive. There's like all these different digital rushes and in-person rushes, and that's what I usually do, which kind of sucks because it's not guaranteed, but they're like very reasonable. But yes, you're so right. The prices are freakishly expensive, and I wish they weren't. Um, but Today Tix usually has some kind of discount situation, or I'm trying to think of like the hacks. There are a couple others. If I think of them, and if you're going to New York soon, I'll send them to you. But yeah, a digital rush is major. I actually did the digital rush for Oh Mary. I went in August and I got to see Jinx Monsoon in Oh Mary, and that was hilarious. She's one of my favorite performers ever. Anyways, what were you gonna say? I totally interrupted you.
no, no,
You were in New York.
yeah, I was just about to say like because I've been to New York, I've seen Broadway, and it looks fun, and I'm just like I wish I could. I wish those tickets weren't expensive because I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh man, it sucks, man. It just really sucks because it's like, because I remember being at a con, because I went to the UK recently,
Mm,
when
yeah.
for a con, and the people in line were just like talking about plays that they went to see, and I'm just like, man, how lucky are you? Like,
Yeah,
you should
very
be.
lucky. Yeah, yeah.
That's just like them being like, oh, did you see this play? Did you see that play? And I'm just like, oh, I wish I had that opportunity. Like, I want to see it like at least one play because it's just like,
Yeah.
ah,
Well, whenever you go to the UK or New York next, if you're able to enter into like an online rush or something, it's just a lottery. I highly recommend because they do it every day, and there are a number of tickets that they have available for each show, and they're much, much, much cheaper. Um, it's like $40 sometimes instead of hundreds, which is insane. Absurd and obscene.
yeah, yeah. But the problem is like, because I remember talking to someone who did a play, and
Mhm.
he had mentioned like the producers had deliberately went out of their way to make the tickets cheap because they wanted people to see their play. And what had
Mhm.
happened was because the tickets were so cheap, they got scalped to shit real quick, and that sucks.
Oh, damn. Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I know, and it's just that stuff like that breaks my heart because like even if it wasn't a play that I was interested in, it's just like
Yeah.
they were cheap, like they were only like $44. It's like,
Mhm.
come on, man. Like, and people just bought them in bulk and started selling them
Oh,
on eBay
oh.
and all this other
That
stuff,
is
and it was
actually
just,
pure evil.
yeah, it just sucks.
Wow. Ugh. Damn. That makes me so mad. Ugh. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, especially when the producers, I mean, he said like, the producers went out of their way to like
Mhm.
make the tickets as cheap as possible because they're like, hey, we know theater tickets are usually expensive, but we want people to see our
Yeah.
show because we're proud of it. And
Yeah.
then, a bunch of scalpers got word of it, and then they just started buying them in bulk, and it's just like, ugh.
Mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, that makes me sad. Oh.
But that's the business we call show.
Oh, the business we call show. It's wild. It really is. Well, what are some of your hobbies?
Does being depressed and worrying about money count as a hobby? 'Cause I'm
Do
doing
you
that a lot.
consider that a hobby? Do you enjoy it? I think a hobby is something that you enjoy.
I mean,
This is a thing that yeah, I mean that I relate to this. This is very real. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to this podcast relate to this. But yeah, but what are things that bring you joy and aren't depressing?
I love talking to people. I think one of I love doing this show. I mean, this is obviously
Yeah.
like I love talking to people. I just love talking to people about the craft and all this other stuff, and just like I love having conversations with people because, like, yeah, we can do the interview, we can talk about stuff, your work and whatever. But I love having conversations. I like wanting to know the person behind the character.
Yeah. That is so awesome. How did you decide that you wanted to start the podcast?
Oh boy, I've told the story a lot of times. So like, here's the quick version. I was depressed. I was unhappy, and
Mm-hmm.
because I've been doing the podcast for years. Before the reboot, it was just me and my friend Tom talking about whatever, and I just hated it. It was just like, this is like whatever. It felt like an obligation because I'm just like, it felt like it wasn't fun for me. And then like,
Mm-hmm.
2018 happened, and I was like really depressed, and I was like at one of the lowest points in my life, and I'm not. I don't feel comfortable talking about this, but you can put two and two together, and
Mm-hmm.
I had reached out to this one voice actress, and because I've done interviews before. I mean, I used to do like interviews, here and there, as
Mm.
specials back in the old format,
Oh,
and
yeah.
what do you call it? But yeah, I reached out to this voice actress. She said yes, and after that conversation, I just had that epiphany where it's like, well, if I can get this person to come on my show, what about what about this other people? And then
Mm-hmm.
COVID happened, and then everyone started their own podcast. So,
You were ahead of the game.
yeah, it's like, man, looking back at like 2020, 2019, when I was like interviewing people, I
Mm.
peaked in 2020 in 2019 because I had like so many people that I just like can no longer get in contact with anymore in 2019
Mm.
because I'm like, man.
Wow, that's so cool that you started this whole thing. And you are, I mean, it's so delightful. I've heard some of your other episodes. I listened to the Shelby Rabara one recently, and that one was so delightful. But yeah, it's so lovely to just hear the conversations and, like you said, like not have to be like, you know, putting on the or speaking about all the things that I'm working on and like how. It is nice to just like to chat about it and be really behind the scenes and get to know each other. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and I want to like to talk about something that good because I don't want to depress people too much by talking about like my depression and what have you. But I the con I went to was MCM Comic Con in London, and
Mm.
I had met Ian Cardoni there, who does the voice of Rick on Rick and Morty, and he's a good
Mm-hmm.
buddy of mine. I've had him on the show a year ago,
Mm.
and we became good friends after that. And him telling me like face to face, like he listens to the podcast whenever he has time, and you know that kind of, again, that's like the good reminder of like, okay, this is why I do it, because like to form these friendships and just to like support like your friends in the business and just like
Yeah.
form connections. All I want is just like to
Yeah.
form actual connections and friendships, and just you know
Yeah.
because I just that's all I want, really.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
think it's really, really beautiful and powerful to that like something that is so um that does bring so many people together like came out of, you know, a darker place that you were in. Like it's beautiful that you were able to like reach out and create this and it's lovely. I really like listening to all the conversations and I think it's such a fun and like easy way to connect with people to just be like, hey, let's like jump on a Zoom and say what's up and share some things. I think it's really lovely and I appreciate getting to chat with you. And was very excited when I saw your email. I was like, oh, how fun. Um, so yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so much for saying that, because I'm currently going through a lot of like I'm currently going through a lot of personal shit, and
Mm.
and I get a lot of no's, by the way. So I just want to point that out there. Like, I get a lot of no's, and I've been dealing with just such dumb crap where it's just like, oh, just such a lot of dumb crap. And but thank you so much for coming on and just chatting about whatever. And I just yeah, I mean, hopefully this is. I mean, hopefully, I wish we can like hopefully stay in touch after this is done, and just if you ever want to just
Yeah,
talk,
for
if
sure.
you ever just want to chat and talk about whatever and hang out, and I'm up for it.
Down, yeah, for sure. For sure. It's been delightful. It's fun to get to like reflect on some of the Nemesis and LotLot and Primos things because those have truly been like I mean, yeah, they have changed my life in many ways. So it's cool to get to kind of do like a little deeper dive, a little reflection and celebrate that with you on the pod. So appreciate that. And yeah, down to chat whenever.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This has been a wonderful conversation. And before I wrap this up, where can people find you online, and where and what are you currently working on?
Oh, okay. You can find me on Instagram, and my handle is Becca Co, Beccaco. And what was the other oh, I also have a website if you if you want to see some like fun photos and videos. That is just BeccaQco.com. And then what am I currently working on? I am working on writing a couple of my own personal projects that have been, oh, it's been some years, but I'm slowly stewing and brewing, working on those. Working on a little bit of music, but I won't get into detail there because it's still kind of I'm deep in the process. Um, and I'm about to be in a play at Seattle Rep, which is a wonderful theater. It's called The Heart Sellers. It's a two-person play, and it's really lovely. It's set in the 70s. There's a woman who just moved from the Philippines meets a woman who just moved from Korea, and they meet on Thanksgiving Day in an empty supermarket, and they end up spending Thanksgiving together, and they get drunk a little bit, and they tell stories, and they spend like the whole night just talking. It's lovely, and I'm really, really excited to get back on a stage. It's been like a really, really long time. Last time I did a play was like 2018 in New York, so this feels very major. But that's gonna be huge and lots of fun, and that is happening for like all of January. So if you're in the Seattle area and you feel like coming to see a play, come on over.
Oh, so you're not so you're doing the whole bi-coastal thing where you're just like jumping from like one place to another depending on the work, right?
Yeah, if there's work that takes me somewhere, I'll be there. I've done a couple of like TV film things in New York while living in LA, and that's been lovely. But really, yeah, being bi-coastal is the dream. Hopefully, I get to keep doing that. Um, yeah, I think that's most of what I'm working on. Thanks.
Gosh, that I'm so sad we have to end this because like I just want to
Me
talk to you for
too.
like 8 hours. Oh, I'm
Ah,
so
we got to do this
sad.
other seven parts another other day. Another day.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
thank.
this was so fun. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sad that it's over. But yeah, I gotta let you go because I know that you're busy and I don't want to like keep you on longer than I should. So thank you so much, and hopefully
Thank
we'll talk to you again
you.
sometime soon.
Yes.
All right.
Later.